Hey. I'm back, everybody. Sorry about that. We had some technical issues. For some reason, it just was not working. I don't know what that was about. I was trying it off my laptop, but it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. It was not working at all for some reason. But yeah, back to back to what I was stating. Sorry about the playback. I had to make sure it was working this time. Um, but yeah, what I was talking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm back. I don't know why I'm having so many technical issues tonight.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's back.
I'm back.
Okay, it's
I don't
back.
know why I'm having so many.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking about depression. As I stated, sometimes it creeps in the midnight hour. Sometimes you go to sleep fine, and you'll wake up the next day and you find yourself just feeling totally different about yourself, about your accomplishments, just about your life in general. And sometimes it comes from just different things that's going on right now in your life, as far as things that you've gone through now, things that you've gone through in the past. And sometimes it comes from suppressing who you really are. Sometimes when we elevate in life and we get places even where people make good money, or we live around people that are well off, you start to feel like you don't fit in. And so you start to become more like the people in the room because you're working so hard to fit in, not understanding that it's something unique about you, that no matter who you are, still whatever attitude or mannerism that you had enough to get in that room. So that means you don't have to dumb down yourself or change who you are to be in that room. You are made original. You're made in God's perfect image. You are exactly who God wanted you to be. And if he planted your feet in that room, I don't care what nobody else around you doing, you belong there. And don't ever let anyone in that room make you feel like you don't. Because you know what, when you work so hard to be somebody other than yourself, eventually you start to become depressed. And sometimes you don't even know that you becoming depressed because you start doing little things like changing your regular daily activities. You start to find yourself wanting to be off by yourself a lot. Sometimes you stop eating. um you find yourself questioning everything that you've done in life, all the accomplishments that you've made. You find yourself just questioning everything that you put your blood, sweat, and tears in, and in that moment it's not enough to you. You don't feel like anything that you've ever done in life is good enough. Boo, you're slowly falling into depression. When things like that start happening into your life, depression is creeping in. You got to catch it at the door, because depression is one of those silent killers. Depression is something that if you let it sit and manifest, you'll find yourself one day feeling like your life ain't worth living no more. And it'll actually give you the strength to end your own life. Depression is one of those things we cannot prepare for. Depression is one of those things we don't ever think we'll go through. Even when you're looking around at your life and you've succeeded in life, you've became everything in life that you wanted to become. You got all the money in the world that you want. Everything in your life can be just perfect. And one day, depression rears its ugly head. And to you, you just feel like, again, you just growing up sometimes, or you try to make excuses for why you always just want to be by yourself, or why every time somebody try to show you love, you can't receive it. You can't be receptive of anybody thinking that you're worth nothing, because you know allowed yourself to mentally break down your own self, piece by piece, unknowingly again. It just happened. Depression is just one of those things, like I said, we can never prepare for. But you always got to prepare yourself and pay attention to your own self. Pay attention to you where you change. When you start changing and the changes that you are making in your life are not bettering you in any way, or you find yourself just pushing people away, it's time to sit down and start reevaluating yourself. It's time to sit down and really start critiquing yourself. Like, wait a minute, what's changing? Like, why all of a sudden I have everything in this world I would want? Why all of a sudden I feel like I'm not good enough? It's okay to ask yourself questions. People say, oh, people think they're crazy when they talk to themselves. No, sometimes it's necessary to have those conversations with yourself. Because you can have that inner child in you. You can have, the person you used to be and you fighting to come back out. Sometimes the worst battles that we have in life are with ourselves. That internal fight. Good evening, Becoming a Woman. Depression is real, and you're speaking directly to me about how I feel. Hey, Miss Regala, how you doing? Yes, ma'am. I hope this live tonight helps you, because we're definitely gonna talk about it. And I know you never probably thought in your life that you would find yourself depressed. And a lot of people, even African Americans, you feel like it's a sign of weakness. You feel like we don't have no time in our life to be depressed. What we depressed about? Living sometimes, well, just existing sometimes. Existing and living are not the same. Existing just means that you're here. You breathe and you here, but you're not living. You're not doing anything enjoyable in your life. It's nothing that you really like about yourself. Nothing that you really like about the life that you live in. You're just existing in this world. And so you stand in the middle. It feel like you in the world all alone, even though you have 1,000 people around you. You feel like it's just you. You are not alone. Never be embarrassed when you feel that way. Never sit in solitude by yourself when you know that you are in a fight with yourself. You will lose. And depression can get so bad that one day you may wake up and feel like the breath that you're breathing is not worth it. You feel like, oh, I'd just be better off if this was all over. No, you won't. You are worthy. I've been fighting for 24 years. Yeah, I feel like I'm just existing, love. Will change that, Miss Regata. The best way that you can live your life, and be unapologetic about it. Whatever it is that you want to do in life, don't worry about money. Don't worry about none of that. If it's something that you can't afford, find something else that may be affordable. Just go have fun. Choose you today. Look in the mirror and choose to love who's looking back. Regardless of what anybody around you would say, nobody can tell you how to live your life with you. Look in the mirror and choose to love who's looking back, regardless of your troubles, whether they're financial, personal, health, regardless of any of that. Pray to God for strength and do what it is, whatever it is that you want to do. Don't hold, since you're already at that place, don't worry about nobody else. Worry about you, because like I said 1,000 times, caskets do not have bump beds. Your kids can't go with you. It's trying to make sure. Exactly. And that's a lot of our problem. We live our whole life allowing everybody around us to consume so much of us that we leave nothing for ourselves. You've given, given, given. You've poured your cup out. And now your cup is empty and you have nobody around you to refill your cup. So now you lost, and most of those people, you've improved their life, so they've gone on to have happy lives. And then you find yourself here by yourself, feeling worthless, feeling drained, feeling like, oh, I gave up all my good years. Every day that you breathe is a day to turn it around. You are worthy. And your blessings will come back. All that you've poured into everybody else, even if they don't appreciate it and never gave it back, God ain't sleeping. He will pour it back into you. But you have to take the first step, and God will take the rest. But you first have to know that you're worthy. First, you have to know that you're deserving. Change the way that you feel about you, and I promise you everything else will fall in place. Love yourself. Love yourself for who you are today. I don't care who you were yesterday. I don't care who you were 10 years ago, nor does God. God cares about where you're going. It's not about how your life starts. It's about how you finish this thing. Be determined to finish this thing victorious, because that's what you deserve. And that's what God wants for you. That's why he will help you. God promises never come back void. You ask and you shall receive. But when you ask with a full heart, ask with a clean heart, and ask knowing that you are deserving. And he will give you all the desires of your heart. I promise you, he will. He'll be there for you when nobody else will. You are worthy of everything you want. Don't never let nobody say, oh, that dream too big. Oh, you must don't know the God I know. You must don't know the God I serve, because nothing's too big for him. But I know I got to take that first step, and he'll take the rest, because he want to know I'm serious about it. He want to know that these prayers are not just because I feel like, oh, I just supposed to pray. He want to know that these prayers that I'm praying are from my heart. They're from my soul. Even though he can already read me, he knows that now I get it. He allowed me to pour all of me inside into other people. Hi, Miss Stinger Black Scorpion. He allowed me to pour all I had into other people my whole life. But now, like I said last night, this is the season to reap what you have sown. This is your season. I know y'all can feel it. Y'all can feel it in the air, the way God is turning this thing around. The atmosphere is shifting. It's our time now. It's our time now. Biblically, he tells us those who are last shall come first. So we did what he asked of us. We poured our life into everybody else to make sure that everybody else will be happy. But now it's time for us to be happy. We deserve just as much happiness as we provided for everybody else. It's time to reap what we have sown. We deserve it. But we have to pay attention to those signs when we have allowed our trials and tribulations to slowly creep in and try to overcome us. We can't let the devil win, because you got to understand, when God is up to something, the devil will try to creep in. He will try to creep in and make you feel unworthy. That's right. That's right. Say it louder for the ones in the back. This is reaping season. This is reaping season. Hey, Ash Pook, I see you, boo. This is our season. We will get. God is going to give us back all that we lost plus more. He promises that. Because when we gave from the heart. We didn't give with expectations of getting something back. We gave because that's what we knew to do. To love others as God loves us. We knew that them people needed us. And God gave us the strength to make sure that everybody else around us was okay. Even when sometimes we was dying inside. Even sometimes when we didn't have it. We gave our last. To make sure they were happy. To make sure they were content. But now it's our time. As you get older, sometimes you don't really understand why things in your life had to go the way they went. And sometimes when you open those chapters in life, sometimes depression can sit in. When you start opening and revisiting the things in your life that went bad, some of the worst things, you start to really start believing that that's all you worth. That's who you are. All my life, bad things been happening. That's just must gonna be my life forever. No, it's not. Those were the trials and tribulations that you had to go through to get to what God has waiting for you. But when you get there, unlike the people that tried to skip through the hard times and go straight to the good times, yours is gonna be permanent. Theirs are just gonna be temporary. Because they haven't gone through. They tried to slide through life. That's why they got that saying. God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. He knew you would make it out. You may not feel like you was gonna make it out. I know plenty of times I felt like I wasn't gonna make it out. But somehow, here I am. Somehow, I stand here today. A great thing, a great practice that I've learned. Actually, you can actually click that link right there if you want to come up, is a link right there that I posted in the comments that you can click on if you still want to come up, poop. I learned in life, a great thing that I learned in life is about writing your feelings down. Sometimes you don't want to talk to other people, but writing your feelings down and actually just looking at what you wrote. Because sometimes you're not even thinking about what's really going on with you. But you get a pen and pad and you just start to write. Don't think about it, just write. Don't think about what you're going to write because you're going to be deceptive in what you're writing. Just write. Let your hand move or your computer move. Just write. After you write, look at what you wrote. Those are the problems that you need to fix because those came from your heart. Your heart wrote your story. See, when you have time to think about what you write, like I said, you can be deceptive in the writing because you being careful of what you write because some words and some realities are too big to face. You can't stand in front of your reality, nor can you see it on a piece of paper. So that's why you can't think about what you're writing. Let your hand clear your mind now before you write. Focus and write. And sometimes you'll find yourself revisiting things that you tried to hide or things that you tried to suppress because you just wanted it to go away. It never goes away. I don't care how much you try to hide, you just become better at hiding. It never goes away. You have to deal with depression head on. You got to fight yourself out of that thing because it will consume you if you don't. Don't let it consume you because you are worthy. God put you here for a reason. Whether you see your purpose right now or not, you are worthy. You are valuable. I don't care what nobody around you say. Their breath ain't no better than your breath. Their breath that they breathe is no more valuable than yours. You have as much as a purpose on this earth as they do. Believe in yourself and fulfill your purpose. Because now that you've already poured everything you had into everybody else, only thing left is to self-reflect. Because it ain't nothing else left in there but you. You're now in that cup by yourself. There's nothing else there. There's nothing else there to cloud your judgment. There's nothing else there for you to focus on. It's only you. It's only you there. Sometimes you have to heal you. When I say sometimes you have to talk to other people, sometimes you just want to get it off your chest. But at the end of the day, the healing is going to be for you and God. Only he can heal you. Because understand, when you was going through the roughest times in your life, he was still right there with you. So he know what happened. He made sure that you made it out, though. Even the worstest things in life, he let you make it out. And if he felt like you couldn't heal for it, he would have healed from it. He would have took you right then when it was happening. Because he'll never take you through something, take you to something that he can't bring you through. That's not how he works. He never going to do that to you. He brought you through it because he knew he got other plans for you. I'm sorry that you had to go through it. That's why I say every time that I find myself questioning why my life had to be so hard, why I had to go through so much, I pick up my Bible and I look at the book of Job. That man is going through more than any of us in this lifetime. You understand? But he never cursed God. And understand, me saying I just know I'm not holier than thou, understand, but I know God. And I know his word. God is still working on me. I've done a lot in my past that I'm not going to even say I'm ashamed of. It's just where my headspace was in that moment. I'm not ashamed of anything that I've ever done in my life. I did it. And that's who I was in that moment when I did it. So I'm not ashamed of anything. At this age, would I have done a lot of things that I've done back then? No, I wouldn't have. But I didn't love myself back then. And that's our first thing that we have to admit. A lot of us always lie and say, oh, I love me. No, you don't. No, you don't. A lot of people say that just as a shield. I love me. I love me. You love yourself, but you change yourself to be in rooms. You love you, but you change your voice when you're talking to different races. You love you, but you dumb yourself down so you can fit in with your friends or the people you've chosen to associate yourself with. There's no way you love you because you're going to take me as I am or don't be around me at all. But understand, I'm not the one to adjust myself to be in your presence. I was never meant to fit in. I was made to stand out. My situations are unique because I'm unique. Let me try to bring you on. We have a guest tonight. Let me see. See if I can get her on here. If she's still here. Hey, Ashley, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So hi y'all. This is my cousin Ashley. This is like my baby as well. I raised her along with my biological children. She's my mother's sister's daughter. And like I said, I got her when she was very, very young and I raised her. So what would you like to add to the conversation, Ashley?
I just want to add in when you were talking about depression, and it is real. And when every time that you reach a new goal or you finna accomplish a new goal, the devil will try to come in and he will try to rain on your parade. But you gotta take the lesson in it and you gotta grow from it.
That's right. And it's a lesson. Everything in your life that you encounter, what I always told y'all coming up, everything that you encounter in your life, either you're going to get a lesson from it or you're going to get a blessing from it. But one of the two is for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes the lessons are hard. Sometimes the lessons are brutal. But there's something that you had to learn to, again, still walk into your season. Because once you walk into your season, you already got to be put together. So God got to take you through those stumbling blocks to create your character for
Yeah,
those blessings he got for you. You know,
that's true.
he got to create that character because sometimes the world will come in and intervene into who he created you to be because you allow these people in your space and they alter your ego. So now God like, wait a minute now, that ain't no. So I'm gonna let her. This is where free will come in. I'm gonna let her go ahead and dance with the devil. I'm gonna let her do her thing, but I'm gonna be right here waiting because she will come back home. So I'm gonna let her go through that hard stuff. I'm gonna make sure she make it through, but I'm gonna let her go through that hard stuff. And if it get too hard that I don't think that she can ever become the person that I made her to be, then I'll bring her on home with me. Because at the end of the day, that's my child and won't nobody alter what I've created for her. You know what I'm saying? Or him. So
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. We have to believe in ourselves beyond everybody around you is not going to clap for you. Everybody around you is not going to be happy for your success, even when they still stuck in their life. Because they haven't come to realize that there's nothing in this world that they can't do. It's nothing in this world that nobody should ever be envious about when it comes to another person, because there's nothing nobody in this world doing that you can't.
Yeah, as long as you learn your lessons and you focus, and when the obstacles come, just look at it as is. Okay, what is this trying to teach me? What do I need to work on? What direction do I need to go in? And
Because
keep a positive attitude, because a positive attitude will help you get through. You can't feed negative with negative.
that's right, because you're only going to come out with negative. But you got to understand those lessons. That's the part that a lot of people don't understand. The lessons in life is actually where you get your power from.
It is.
When you at your worst, it's actually when you're more powerful, when you're learning more, when your brain is working 1,000 times overtime, when you're going through those lessons. Because your brain is taking things from those lessons and it's applying it and it's storing it. It's storing it. So when you come across that situation again, this time, it ain't going to hurt you as bad because now you know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, now you know what to do. Wait a minute, I've been here before. You know, I wait a minute, I know how to catch this. I know how to catch this right now in the beginning and go ahead. Yeah, we ain't doing this.
Yeah.
I already know where this ends up. So you actually get a lot of power from the worst parts of the worst times in your life. And a lot of times you can actually help somebody else from going through the same thing because you've been there. But they got to be receptive of what you got to offer, you know, to try to help them. Because a lot of people don't care what you have to offer, what you've been through. They don't want to listen to nobody. They feel like they got all the answers. So they rather put their hand in the fire and see that it burn and then come back and blame you. But you knew that would happen. But no, 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 no. I told you. No, 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 no. I told you that would happen. You had a different perception. You thought something was gonna be different.
Yeah, sometimes you got to keep them covered in prayer and let them touch that stove sometimes.
That's right. Even with our children, that's the hardest thing. They have to let your kids put their hand. And you know, sometimes these kids, when their lives are not perfect, their lives don't play out the way that you played it out in your head, or it doesn't play out with the things that you've instilled in them in life. That's another thing. That's a hell of a trigger for depression. Because then you start feeling like you worthless. You start feeling like I didn't do the best I could as a mom or a dad. Like this is all my fault. When in
But
reality, go ahead.
but if you know, if I'm sorry, y'all, I'm a little nervous. This is my first time.
It's okay. It's okay. Just speak from the heart. Speak from the heart. That's all you're doing. You don't have to think about it. Let it flow. I'm just going to get my point out why she's thinking and getting herself together. Okay. So what I'm saying is, if you basically, if you know that you've given all that you can, because it's all that you got. If your child requires more than what you got, it's not your fault. It's all you got. Don't beat yourself up for giving all that you got and trying all that you can. If they choose to go another route in life, don't let it kill you. Because we all know, and this is the part that a lot of people try to act like do not exist. Like people can't come from great homes and just still turn out to be real messed up individuals.
Especially with everything that they're surrounded by,
Right.
from the internet to the music.
Right.
You know, it's different from the stuff that we grew up listening to or seeing on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Even cartoons these days are polluted.
Yep. Even the cartoons are polluted. Like that's why I tell people all the time, it's a war on our children. Stop being so fast to, and this is again why we need the village back. Stop being so fast to try to inflict or try to downgrade the parents. You don't know what the hell them parents done went through. You don't know how hard that they've cried, how many nights they prayed, that their knees bleeding from being down praying, praying, and praying and crying and crying. And these children out here just don't care. But then, like I said, that's one of the easiest ways now. Depression is creeping on in because people are having to watch their children self-destruct, and they're doing all that they can. They're crying out for help, but nobody want to help them. But once their child do something crazy, then oh, now the whole world want to speak. The whole world got something to say now. Oh, it had to start at home. They must have had the worst parents. Stop being stupid. You ain't do everything perfect, but you don't want nobody to say your mom and daddy was the worst. You ain't do everything perfect in life. Your life ain't perfect. Everybody in this world not billionaires. But I'm very quite sure that's what every loving mother and father want for their child. To be more indebted in Christ and to have everything in this world and never have to struggle one day. Never have to see a bad day. Never have to see an empty pocket. Never have to feel a rumbling stomach. Never have to not have shoes, clothes, shelter. But it happens. And it's not always the parents' fault. A lot of us are just learning. A lot of us, like I said, there's no parenting one-on-one. Because all children, you can't parent the same.
Because all children are not the same.
At all. I actually never seen two that's the exact same in my life. And I've seen a lot of children. And I've never seen two that are the exact same my whole life.
Because everybody is unique in their own little way.
Everybody's unique in their own way. But no matter how bad somebody got, there's always some piece of good in them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of them, we just can't figure out where the good is, like how we reach it. Because a lot of them bury the good so deep in them because the bad works better for them. You know, sometimes the bad it gets them further in certain situations and in certain geographic places. You know, being bad is just what keeps them alive sometimes. They feel like the good guy don't always finish first. The reality of it, the good guy always finished last, but he finished. And most of the time, the bad guy never gets a chance to actually finish.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm telling y'all, like that depression thing will creep in like a thief in the night. You'll start finding yourself doing stuff like when they say, they always make it seem like it's a good thing when a woman cut her hair bald. That's not true. A lot of times women start cutting their hair bald because they're starting to go through depression. They're starting not to like who they are. And a lot of women that I've heard, you know, lately I've heard a lot of women say spirits in your hair and stuff like that. So they start cutting their hair off. So it's not always that. That's why I said what works for one may not work for the other. Everybody don't function the same. Everybody mind don't move the same. We have to learn how to be open to everybody. Stop trying to pick and choose who you want to be around, because sometimes the people that are the most friendliest and the nicest people on the outside are at first glance, they turn out to be the most deceitful, vindictive people that you would ever want to meet in your life. People know how to put on a happy face. People know how to put on a deceptive face too, to get in where they fit in. You got to be real careful, because sometimes them ghetto loud ones are the best people in the world to know. Them ones that y'all be so ashamed of. That's why I always tell people, be who you want to be. I go off vibes. I don't go off how you act on the outside. I go off how I feel when I'm standing beside you.
Because I can dig deeper than the surface.
Exactly. We have that gift. If I stand beside you and I feel off, you know how I tell y'all what I tell y'all. What I be saying, Ashley, when you try to bring new people around. What I be Mm-mm.
That you even if you like this, sometimes you just run them off.
Yep. If I gotta get one bad vibe, I be like, I don't like her. You get one bad vibe. That's when I get any bad energy, I'm out. I ain't finna sit around and linger. I'm just at this age and this point in my life, I've done all that. I've been through so much. I've been through giving people chance at the chance at the chance. I've been through turmoil since I was a child. Like at this point in my life, I choose me. I just want happiness.
And everybody deserves to be happy, because when you vibrating at your highest and you happy, it's easier for you to help everybody around you, versus when you got a whole load on you and you're not expressing yourself, you're not getting it out, you're not talking to nobody. Then all of a sudden you feel overwhelmed.
Right. Because that's what I was saying earlier, because you poured everything you had into everybody else. That's why at this point we're choosing ourselves. This season, we shared everything else with everybody else. And this reaping season, we keeping it all for ourselves. And that's okay when you spent your whole life giving it all away. And now you went through that flat season when nobody's around. It's just you. And now you see when you're in that flat season, you're in that season alone. None of those people that you poured into all your life is there to pour back into you.
You're right, but sometimes you gotta do it alone.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's when you actually learn yourself more, when you're doing it alone. When
Yeah.
when you have no distractions. When you don't have any distractions around you, and what you have to focus on is yourself.
Yeah, you not like, you don't have to worry about nobody giving you opinion or anything like that. You just in your zone, figuring out everything that you need to do, not only for you but the other people around you too.
Right. But at some point, yes. But at some point, what you have to understand is you got to get you right before you can help everybody around you. Because
Yeah, that's
already,
true.
again, we at a place now where we done helped everybody around us all our life. So now it's time to help yourself for a little while.
Oh yeah.
And once you are fulfilled, once that cup is back to the tippy top overflowing, now you got a little bit to start back giving out to people.
Yeah.
Whether it's your mental, because most of the time when you pouring so much, you get so drained. You get drained from not only financially, you're drained now mentally, you're drained physically, you look drained. You try to walk around with a smile, but your smile's so weak. Now that glow about yourself, you no longer got it. Because you've even given that. Because that's what was left, and you've given that to everybody. Because you rather see them smile than you.
Yeah, and then when you going through that and you see that glow disappear, you gotta get up, be like, what can I do? How can I get that light back? I need my light. So you'll start realizing that you have to pour into you. Like, you are the head. Mika.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to that's what I was saying. You got to pay attention to that. You can't lose yourself in other people. Because you'll find it so easy. You won't, like I said, you won't even realize that you're doing it. It'll just be done.
Yeah,
And like I said, then those people don't got nothing to give you back. Now you drained and dry.
that's true. And not able to function, and you sad and all that.
Yep, you drained and dry. You don't have nothing. Nothing to give back at all.
And we have to also pour into each other, making sure that we say kind words. Like if you see somebody and they're not smiling, maybe a compliment or something will help change their day around, make them smile.
Right, right. And even a stranger, especially,
Yeah.
because those are the things that mean the most. Sometimes people just need, a stranger can walk past you, and like I said, you feel injured, you feel that that person is down, even when you have that gift. So you make sure you say something encouraging, something uplifting. It don't hurt to say a kind word to somebody, and it don't always have to be somebody because that stranger actually going to appreciate that kind word more than the person that you know.
Yeah, because they look at it as like this person don't even know me and they just said something nice and it make them smile all day. I've been in situations where I wasn't feeling too good on certain days and a stranger made my day.
Yep, yep. And that's what this world is missing. A lot of people are now scared to talk to people. They scared to approach people because they don't know how the person gonna react because the world has become so hateful. But that's the devil's agenda for everybody to keep feeling like that. And everybody's continue to gravitate more towards separation than they do unity.
Hmm.
The more he can move in and encourage separation, the closer he can get this world to where he wanted to be, which is a total demise. You know,
Everyone, everyone got to realize that you gotta like we got unity. That's why we was all put together because we need to use our unity to change the narrative. They want to see us doing exactly what everybody is trying to do.
exactly. Yep. And a word that's already totally functional off hate needs to change. Because you know what? Hate does not come with power. Hate is actually powerless.
Love is
Unity. That's
powerful.
right. Unity and love is power. That's that's what's powerful. But a lot of people have lost their way now. A lot of people have been through so many traumas, so many indiscretions in this lifetime that people really sick of other people. They like, listen, I just don't trust nobody. I don't want nobody in my space. I just don't want because they've gone through so much. But again, that was the agenda. That's why you have to be stronger than any of your circumstances. You have to be stronger than anything that you've gone through in life. You have to conquer those demons. Because at the end of the day, you can never let anything negative consume who you are, who you're going to be. Because if you allow it to, it will. It will destroy you. And the destroy starts on the inside. The destroy starts about how you feel about yourself. You don't have to, I see so many women I just see so many people just talk about I love myself, but you won't even put dedication into yourself. You won't even put dedication into who you want to be. You won't even take the time to understand that sometimes it's okay to be by yourself. You don't have to have somebody around you all the time. You don't have
And
to be lit all the time. It's okay to calm down, set your ass down somewhere, and get yourself together. It's okay to be confined. That's why sometimes, even when you pull that, and I be like, girl, I ain't heard from you all, I understand it. Because I know that while you're away, you're being productive. I never wonder if you're not being productive or not because I know that you are. And I know that when you come back, you always have good news. Something's changed since the last time we talked. And it's always something positive every time. Even though I don't like when I'm missing you, I get it. But I always know that I'm looking forward to some good news when I hear from you again. You know,
yeah,
you're always being productive when you're away. When we ain't talking on the phone or I ain't heard from you, every time you come back, think about it. Every time you come back, you had something positive. So I knew that you just needed a clear. You needed your conscience. You need your mind clear. You needed your space clear so that you could do what you have to do for you.
that's true.
You know,
Some-
sometimes, go ahead.
Sometimes you gotta face that reality and take that walk and be like, hey, either I'm gonna keep doing the same thing and getting the same results, or I'm a see where these lessons is coming from, learn from it, grow from it, so that I can help somebody who might feel helpless.
That's
Because
right.
at one point in time, I was a person that felt helpless.
Right. Right.
But as long as you change your mind, you change the narrative. Do not let depression take you over. If you have to get up and do your hair, put on some clothes, look in the mirror like, hey, girl, get up. We got this.
That's right.
Then that's what you need to do.
And sometimes it's just that getting up and making yourself look pretty or look handsome. Put you on some cologne, put you on some perfume, put your heels on or put your shoes on. Just look at yourself in the mirror and just be like, wow, that girl bad or that man is handsome. That self-love, like they said, that self-love is the best love.
Yes, because it's going to help you with all other love.
That's right. Because you can't love nobody else properly until you properly love yourself. That's why a lot of times when people be saying, oh, that mama or that daddy don't seem like they love their child or this, that, and the third. Sometimes they don't love themselves. How you want somebody to give somebody something they don't have? Nobody intentionally brings a child in the world not to love them, but you don't understand. Some people never been loved.
And they
But
don't understand the proper way of it.
right. Or they feel like the love that they giving you is the only way they know how to love you. That's the only way they know how. It may not be the love that you're receptive of, but that's all they got. The first thing in loving a person is understanding their limits, understanding their boundaries, understanding that what they're giving you is all they got. Be appreciative of what they're giving you. And if that's not enough for you, be okay with being out of their space. If you can never require more of a person than what they have. If they don't have enough for you, then find somebody that do. Or give it to yourself. Because can't nobody love you like you can love you. That's why, another thing, as parents, we have to tell ourselves, we can't let these kids kill us because they will if you let them some of them, honey, because they will test you. Hear me? They will test you. They will make you feel like everything wrong in their life is your fault. Everything, but oh yes, hold your children accountable. I'm talking about accountable. Hold them accountable. Because if you don't, if you that mama always saying it ain't my child didn't do my child, you ain't doing nothing but creating a monster. You creating a person that will not be productive in the world because the world is not going to do that. The world gonna hold it behind accountable. The world gonna hold it behind at face value. So you better do it first. They go out here thinking everybody gonna bow down and give them all. That ain't real word. That ain't the truth. You gonna get a lot of no's before you get a yes. So you gotta be prepared to stand firm while you getting those no's. Keep your head held high while you getting all those no's that's preparing you for that one big yes.
And don't give up.
No matter what. Sometimes, baby, you feel like that's the only thing. Listen, I wash my hands with this. This too much. But you can't give up. You cannot give up. You can't give up. Giving up is not an option. Because once you give up on you, that's it. That's the end of the road. We've now come to the end of the road. Can't nobody else give you more than you can give yourself. You can't be okay with draining complete energy from somebody else to try to fulfill yourself. When you can actually just fulfill yourself. And give little pieces that you have extra, give it to other people. But we gotta learn how to stop we have to learn how to stop that pouring process. Because we pour our whole life again until it's nothing left. We got to learn how to stop that because then
Hello?
we find ourselves in that place. Well, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and end this live tonight, and I hope it really helps someone. I enjoy all you ladies tonight. Ashley, thank you so much for coming on. This will not be our last one together. And I thank you for the woman that you're becoming. I'm so proud of you. Miss Regala, you keep pushing. I don't even know you personally, but I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of who you're going to wake up tomorrow and be. Because when you wake up tomorrow, you're going to wake up renewed. Before you lay down tonight, you're going to be going to sleep as a different woman. Lay your burdens down. Because the crosses are not yours to bear. Whatever you went through in life was just something that you had to go through. But again, you still got breath in your body. That means God brought you through it. You are worthy, Miss Regala. You are worthy, Miss Stinger Black Scorpion. You are worthy, Pook. Y'all are beautiful. Y'all made perfectly in God's image, and don't y'all ever let nobody tell you different. It don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter where you stay. It don't matter what kind of job you got. It don't matter where you come from. It's about where you're going.
Trust your process. Your process is your own unique process. You learn, you grow, you have all your resources to help you get grounded, because who wants money and success if you don't have the necessary tools to ground yourself?
Amen.
That's why so many people with lots of money, they killing themselves because they're not happy. They're not happy within themselves. They never went through that process. They was just using money to cover up everything.
That's right. And money don't define you. So again, ladies, may your today be better than yesterday, and may your tomorrow be better than today. And no matter what, God loves you. And again, you all are worthy. Peace and blessings. You all have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your Sunday.